have my beauty. That's one of my privileges. I have my whiteness. That's one of my privileges. I used to have thinness.
I want to move on to a different topic. I want to talk about Me Too and sort of this social movement that we're living through right now. What is the state of feminism sort of in this post-Me Too era?
We're in post-MeToo? All right.
Tell me.
Sorry, I got distracted by the Me Too part. So I was like, we're in post-MeToo? Wow, like, no one's getting, like, sexually harassed anymore. Like, oof.
We did it, guys. We solved the problem.
We want that world. No, I think, obviously, the state of feminism is very much reflected right in this room. But Me Too, for me, right, in a particular context, means something for different people. It's a different experience for different people. In my culture and in my community, we're still working through that. There is no post-Me Too, right? We're still working through how do we have these tough conversations? How do we teach not just, you know, women.
That daggone cameraman is I think the cameraman got a little crush on this one right here. Because this right here, I don't know how this will be a zoom in. I don't know how I noticed this, but I think it was put there on purpose. And y'all probably like, why is this important? It's important because I'm watching this as a complete production, as they would like us to. They don't just want us to take the daggone commentary and miss everything else. They want us to see the different zooms. Why would he go down the daggone hair of this young lady right here, zoom in on her thighs? He's zooming in on, look, he's zooming in on the curves and everything, her arm and the softness of her wrist. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing. I noticed you doing it. I just wanted to point it out. That's what I noticed.
These tough conversations. How do we teach not just, you know, women, but everyone about consent? What does consent look like? What does that look like in our community? What does that not look like? Right? All those things that I think it's still very complicated. But I think it starts at the level of community, right? Of like, how do we have these conversations around consent?
Sydney, I saw your hand up.
So when the Me Too thing was unfolding, I was initially like, great, I love the idea of women being able to speak out. What's been really disappointing, I suppose, for me, post-Me Too, as we're calling it, is that...
Hey, what's her name again? Please, someone give me her name. I want her name so I can do some research on certain topics that will be helpful in my journey. Sydney Wilson. Yeah, that's her name.
Who's sort of on the right wing of politics. I think that a lot of the experiences of women on the right get a bit trivialized because there is a lot of politicizing of sexual assault. So when something legitimately happens on our side of the table and someone tries to speak up about it, there's almost an automatic disbelief. And I understand why. It's because of the believe all women type of stuff that came out of the Me Too movement, that a lot of us were like, wait a minute, no, people do use these situations for gain. People do make things up. People do lie. But it is sad to watch it happen. It makes me sad that we're here.
Yeah, that's something I'm having an issue dealing with right now. I'm trying to figure out that whole believe all women thing. No, I ain't believing on no damn women. For what? Women lie just like men lie. You want to talk about, hold on, you want to talk about equality? Talk about equality? Women lie and men lie. All right? Believing all women. Who made that up? I'm sorry, I know. Believe all women. You out your daggone mind. You see, y'all need to stop that. You want to talk about having equality and equity and all this other stuff, but when it comes to things like this, believe all women. What if somebody came up with a daggone phrase? We believe all men. Believe all men. Could you imagine how this society would be if we was just to believe all men? It's dumb. It's an issue. Y'all need to see that. Like, it's a better way to figure this thing out. You want equality? Then get equality. Take what's yours. You think things are so bad? Then go harder for what you want. Period. But if you want to talk about equality, you cannot say believe all women. I've heard that too many times. There's someone just now, man, just like with the Andrew Tate thing. Y'all understand what's going on with the Andrew Tate thing. This dude is being considered as a trafficker, as a human trafficker. Now, there's half of the world who believe it to be true and half of the world who do not. And a lot of the women are like, they believe it because women said it. If they say that they've been taken advantage of, then they said it, then we got to believe them. And we'll deal with if they wrong later. I think that if a woman ever puts a man in a situation where he has to go to prison for one of her lies, that once it's found out that she was lying, he should be released and she should get his place in jail. So if he was given 4 years for her lie, once that lie is figured out, he should be released for that and she should have to do that 4 years, in my opinion. Now, if you think it to be something different, you don't like that, then that's your business. We all got our things that we believe, but that's just me.
Jordan?
I feel like there'll never be a post-MeToo because at the heart of it, MeToo is just a phrase. The spirit of what MeToo represented will always be relevant, and that is that you are empowering individual women to advocate for themselves and speak out when they feel like they're being wrong. Ideally, you're just trying to be the most transparent and self-accountable person you can be.
Why you gotta be transparent? Why I gotta be transparent? How come it can't be just parent? Huh? How come it can't be just parent? Everything gotta be trans. It gotta be transparent. It can't just be parent, huh? I saw what you tried to do there.
And you need to hit all of those fronts if you want it to last on a cultural level.
How about beauty standards? We talked a little bit about this. This got brought up at the beginning. How does that tie into femininity?
Sorry, I'm very into this idea because I do think it is.
Shouldn't it be someone who benefits off of it that be the first person to talk about it? And because if you benefit off of it, that's who I want to hear you talk about it. I don't want to hear your perception of it because you don't know. You're on the outside looking in. You don't understand. You don't get it. You don't get it. You need to hear somebody who goes through it talk about it. That's who I want to hear talk about it. You know what? Let me just finish.
One of the larger intersections that just doesn't get very discussed, which is, like I was talking about before, barriers and friction are placed up around bodies. And the fatter I get, the older I get, the less people will listen to me, the less value I will have for society. So, you know, I'm already starting out as a woman with no legs. If I had something on my face, I have my beauty. That's one of my privileges. I have my whiteness. That's one of my privileges. I used to have thinness.
Lady, this lady, she, you know what? She is brave. You are an amazing young lady. But for equality purposes, I'm going to speak to you the same way I would speak to anyone else, whether they were a woman, whether they were, you know, white with privilege, or if they were handicapped. Listen, you just now looked at that daggone black woman and just gave her a wink, I'm on your side, by saying what you just now said about the white privilege thing. What white privilege do you have? I'll wait. I want to hear about some white privilege that this lady has. Because either you're oppressed or you got privilege. Don't one of them cancel the other out. Last I checked, are you oppressed or do you have privilege? Like, what is it? It got to be one. You can't have both. You got to pick one. What the world am I missing here? Like, I don't get it. I know I'm talking too much, but, you know, I just got some thoughts on this. Y'all made me check it out, so you got to deal with it.
Yes, and now I'm getting fatter. Things are changing. And I think every single time that we talk about feminism, pretty privilege should be discussed because we have these ideas. If your skin tone is this, if your hair is this, if your body looks like that, it's about whether or not you are given an equal opportunity based on what you look like.
I saw a pro.
I think a lot of times the women that complain about beauty standards don't complain about them when they got privilege, when they were young and attractive and thin. So it's like, yeah, you're complaining when the privilege is gone, but privilege is invisible to those who have it. And women, it's a privilege. And men don't turn 18 and get looks that we get.
You saw that look she gave her? For her, that's a win. You see that look on her face? For her, that is a win because she is a champion of the whole beauty privilege thing, pretty privilege. She believes in pretty privilege. She believed that Pearlie has pretty privilege. And Pearlie just now admitted that usually women who are pretty, they don't realize they have pretty privilege. They're blind to it. So this young lady gets a point, and Pearlie things, you lose a point. See, I give these joints out equally, man. She got you. That was a chess move right there. That was a see, Pearlie things, you gotta watch what you say. That was bad for you to say. You shouldn't have said that. Because she got you on that one. She did. I gotta admit that.
As a Black woman, one of the most integral parts of the beauty conversation has been colorism. I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, proud of it and proud of being myself. For the most part, I did not. Why am I gonna cry about this? Mm-hmm. I did not grow up thinking I was beautiful because I was that. And I think in the Black space, we have these conversations, but I think I'm glad to bring it up because I think feminists actually really should be part of the colorism topic, because colorism is not just shades within being Black, it's shades because they're, again, the beauty standard is the closer to whiteness you are, the more beautiful you are.
Colorism, and this is just my thoughts on colorism. Colorism is a mentality. You didn't feel pretty because you believed that women who did not look like you were pretty. So, since you didn't look like those women that you deemed as pretty, based off of your definition of what was considered beautiful in society and culture and everything, you wanted to be those people. You didn't feel like you looked like those people. So when you looked in the mirror, you didn't love what you saw. That was your business. That had nothing to do with colorism. That was your mentality. I don't care how you look. Listen, I make fun of my goofiness all the time, how skinny I am, my crooked teeth and all of that. But I think I'm a bad boy. I think I'm a bad boy. I love who I am. I love what I look like. I love my walk, my talk, my swag, how I sing, how I rap, how I treat the family, how I treat other people. I love me. And the only reason why I love me this much is because I never, if the world is evil enough, the world is mean enough for you to be mean to yourself. Like, somebody got to have your back, and sometimes you're the only person to have it. So do not sit there and get all sensitive. So because I'm about to cry. I didn't think I was pretty. And the girl said, massage you, rub on your shoulders. Oh, you didn't think you was pretty? It's okay. What the heck? Go back to the whole equality thing. You want to be equal like the men are when it comes to receiving what they're receiving, then you gotta get over it, soldier. You gotta get over it. You gotta move forward. Clearly, how ugly you thought you was as a child, it did not stop you from being successful. It didn't stop you from being intelligent, but it did stop you from growing mentally when it comes to how you feel about yourself. Because if you feel empowered, you're not going to see oppression. You're not going to see that. You're not going to look at things as oppression. You're not. You're feeling empowered, but clearly you do not. You just told on yourself. Like you're mentally weak. And if you're mentally weak, you're going to always feel oppressed. I'm sorry. I just like to run my mouth.
I think it's something that if more people in different shades, particularly white women, because of knowing that standard, and we work together on that, then we have a lot, I think, something we can unify on, but also something that we can make strides in right now that I'm just not seeing. And it's only, again, that's why people feel like you have to be a Black feminist, because it's a topic that only really Black feminists are talking about because it deals with being Black. Mm.
How do beauty standards make you feel?
It comes with being Black. Let me tell you something. Every Black person should make sure that you take advantage of dropping you gotta play the race card at least once. Just do it. Listen, you want to talk about somebody with a privilege? We got a privilege to do that. We got a privilege to do that. When I was working for the federal government, I used to do it for fun sometimes because I was like, man, these people are so sensitive about everything. Let me see if this works. I used to do it for fun. I promise you I used to do it for fun. Like my supervisor would say, Van, did you finish that report that was supposed to be done yesterday? And I would say, you just saying that to me because I'm a black man. And he'd be like, whoa, what are you talking about, bro? You know, come on, man. Don't talk like that. You know that. Come on. Listen, hopefully it didn't come off that way. I didn't mean it that way. I'm like, man, stop playing with me. I'm just playing, man. I apologize. I thought I submitted it yesterday in the email. It didn't come to you. I already did do it, but I'm gonna send it to you right now. Now, I used to piss people off with that stuff. But listen, she knows that she have nothing else to talk about. She can't use the I was ugly back in the day colorism, but she got to use black. Because I'm a black person. That's something that I'm dealing with being black. I'm dealing with being black. Ask me how many sad black people I know. Black people are happy as hell. Black people be partying every day, smoking J's every day, drinking every day, having all the sex they want to have, living it up. Nobody parties like us, in my opinion. You might know more about your folk too. You know what I mean? Black people are not sad. They're not. They're upset. Extremely upset. That's because they don't know how to daggone get over certain things. But, you know, this is how people are. Some people like to hold on to the bad part.
Morris?
I mean, kind of what you're saying, Antonia, as a Black Latina woman in my community, right? Like, I grew up and I was ugly, right? Like, that's what I was considered. I was
in the Black Latina community. Let me tell you about all of my oppressions.
Not considered beautiful. Of feeling ugly, but also being told I was, right, had a lot to do with what is believed in my community, right? Colorism is one of them. And so to say, I'm gonna redefine beauty for myself, and to say, I own myself, and I get to decide what's beautiful, right? And I get to decide what I wanna wear and how I wanna wear it. And I don't need to, right? It's almost a repelling, right? Like, I'm like, no, you know what? I am beautiful. I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and I'm gonna feel myself, because if no one else is gonna feel me, it's on me to feel me too.
I gotta say.
Well, you see how she took her power back? She chose to take her power back on that one. She took her power back. You saw it? She took her power back. She thought that she was ugly when she was growing up. She thought that she wasn't cute and all that other stuff. But then she had to tell herself, I am the one. Like, this is what but sometimes clearly she gets lazy and she don't want to fight anymore. And she just say, you know what, I'm not going to fight that fight. That's y'all fault. It's y'all fault. Fix it. It's your fault. Fix it. Because I said it's your fault.
Say though, I did grow up being referred to as very beautiful for a woman with a disability. And that to me always fed this idea that disability doesn't mean beautiful. I am in some form of exceptionalism, which I then had to keep up with forever. So it's like, I got this thought as I started to age, like, you can have no legs, but you better not get fat. And so this idea that, like, there are certain people who are beautiful and certain people who aren't, and that inherently holds value is, I think, you know, find it in yourself, yes. And
Jordan?
Beauty standards are toxic hierarchical nonsense. And
oh my God. Beauty standards are toxic bush hierarchy and malarkey and baloney, and they're hogwash. They're poppycock.
Say that as someone who has spent over a year collectively of my life in eating disorder institutions, because I have tried to put my body through hellish things to meet these beauty standards, which more often than not are not based in reality.
You did not put yourself through hellish things to meet no, what did you do? What's your workout regimen? Please tell me right now, I'm listening. What's your workout regimen? Huh? You said you put yourself through hellish things. What's your workout regimen? Don't tell me about all these diets and nah, I don't want to hear that. Have you been to the military? Then don't say you put yourself through some hellish regiments. You want to go through some hellish regiments? Go to the military. They'll put you through some hellish regiments, and guess what you will meet? You will meet the beauty standards, because your body will be the way that you wanted it to be. You won't have no choice. because they would train you up to be a soldier. Everybody want to act like I've been doing everything I want to do. I want to be buff as hell. But guess what Van has not been doing? Going to the gym regularly. All right? I'm going to get back into it. But I admit, now I'm not going to say it's somebody else's fault because I'm trying to live up to I want to live up to the best me that I can be. You know what I mean? I don't want to live up to the beauty standards. When you live up to the beauty standards, that means you're giving other people more credence than you give yourself. You're looking at the billboards telling you what you should look like, and you're comparing yourself to that. It ain't daggone society's fault that you're fat and ugly. But guess what? There's only one person in this room that can say I'm fat and ugly. If you don't believe you're fat and ugly, then you're good. But other than that, don't make excuses as to why you don't look a certain type of way and then blame other people who do. You don't just put on muscle by accident. There are some people who walk around naturally muscular beneath, but when you see somebody walking around who are in great shape, they made up their mind to get into great shape. They did that, and then they put in the work. You got to put in that work for real. Don't just be acting like I'm putting in work. You know, I've been going through hell and back. No, you haven't.
They're typically trends. They're created to push things. They're extremely useful for marketing, but they don't serve anyone's health. They don't serve anyone's self-esteem. They only act to try and tell us that there's a allegedly right way to have a body. And if you don't occupy that space and have that body, then you're a piece of which is absolute nonsense. And there are way too many women and men in the world who end up doing terrible things to themselves because they fall into this trap of thinking that you have to be this way. And if you aren't this way, then there's something inherently wrong at your core, which is nonsense. You're perfect the way you are. That's literally the core of it. You are perfect the way you are. And anyone who tries to tell you otherwise is feeding into this industry and is just, they're not your friend or looking out for you.
Layla?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, beauty in the industry is exploitative, but also we have to remember a lot of the beauty standards are based around health, what's perceived as health, like symmetry, certain weights, things like that. So there is that side where we have to balance it, and I think we're seeing so much more representation, which I think is incredibly important.
Well, I just think that like, if women really cared about beauty standards, like the obesity rate wouldn't be what it is.
But what about
trying
you?
to attain the beauty standards. I just think like some people are more attractive, some people are less attractive, and that's just, you know, where would I rate myself 1 to 10?
Oh, we're not rating, it's okay.
That's what I mean. Like, I just think like some people are more attractive.
So if you are overweight, you don't care about beauty standards,
Well,
is that right?
like the point is that the beauty standard is thin, right?
Your standard?
But obesity comes from men and women, though.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. But I'm saying if women really wanted to fit the beauty standard, they would be thin.
I know, from my experience as well, is growing up, again, in a mostly white neighborhood but I was always comparing myself to literally other people who have a different body type, but I was considered other or to something because it didn't conform to that body type. When that same body type became popular with Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians, who are different, right, than me, let's just say, are different skin color, right? And there's a lot of animosity in a lot of Black communities of the fact that when it was on Black skin, it was an issue, but when it was on Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians, it was $1 billion business.
Yep. Our time together has almost come to an end. We sort of started talking about feminism, big picture. We're gonna try again. Is feminism dead?
I think feminism is alive, and I'm thankful to be a participant and believer of it.
Y'all notice she hasn't said anything for like the last 20 minutes. I think she was pissed off at Pearly Things and want to fight her after the show.
I would say, as far as the West goes, I think that feminism has been cannibalized by other movements like leftism, like transgenderism.
So I think feminism is very much alive and well. I think it takes different forms depending on who you're talking to. And
you should not be answering it. God dang it.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. And as I've defined in the beginning, for me, I use it as a lens. So I don't think I'll ever stop having it in my arsenal, if you will. It makes for a good vice panel.
I wouldn't mind having it, feminism, in my arsenal.
Okay, we're done. I appreciate everybody taking the time. I know this is, it got a little heated at times, but thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I stand up now? Oh my God. Are we actually really done?
I love arguing.
I don't think I have sat this long in a little chair.
That was wild. I mean, drama.
It was nerve-wracking. Some of the people on the panel were entirely subsumed in misinformation.
You! Yes, that's who. You got consumed in misinformation. It was clearly you.
I think that we women need to stick together and figure out what a woman is.
We were all loud, outspoken women.
Some people are soft.
We were all loud, outspoken. What? No, you're not, man. You are a feminine, expansive peoples. You're not a woman, okay? You're feminine, expansive peoples. You are not a woman. Sorry, you're just not. 2023, you're not, okay? You might have been one in 2022. 2023, you're not a woman. You're feminine, expansive peoples. You're the thing that you made up. Be the thing that you made up. You're not a woman. See, here's the thing. When you are a man and you feel like you're a woman, you're gonna try to be one. Whatever that try to be one is thing, whatever that is, that's what you are, okay? You're not an actual woman. Women are everything. Women are everything. Cannot disrespect women. Like, I'm the type of person, I don't disrespect women. I think women are absolutely phenomenal. My thing is, I think that the trans community disrespects women by making them feel like you deserve to be equal with them as a woman, and you are not. Just my opinion. It's my opinion. All right, so y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to. Oh, and also, yeah, I heard about that. I just now checked out a video where men who are becoming women are now starting to put frozen tomatoes. You know what I mean? They putting it up there. They just putting it up there. And then when the tomato melts, they start acting like they have cramps. And they clean up. They put on pads for the melted tomatoes so that they can menstruate. Did you not see that video? Let me tell you something. When you start doing stuff like that, it's something like somebody shook the hell out you. It's something that's out of place right there. I'm never gonna say it's weird because I consider myself weird and I'm not that. All right? I'm not. So in 2023, just consider this. Men who want to be women, you are not a woman, okay? You are whatever you want to describe it as. You can make up your own word. That's what you are. And if nobody wants to call you a woman, that's their prerogative. They should not be discriminated against for telling you that they don't believe what you're believing. They don't. Same thing with women who become men. You're not a man. If you ever get into a ring with an actual man and think that you're gonna do what these men who are, see that people are picking and choosing what they decide to take advantage of. It's like chess to them. We need to get the first over here and the first over there and the first. Who's gonna be the first WNBA man playing in there? Probably already there. We don't know yet. Don't know yet. There's assumptions. There's assumptions on some of them. I heard them. I heard the whispers. But yeah, that's just my 2 pennies. That's my 2 pennies.